I want to say this before I say anything else, and I want to say this channel isn't here to impress you. I'm not here to, I suppose, be the loudest person in the room. I'm not here to pretend I've got all the things figured out, and I'm definitely not here to sell you some perfect version of life or business. I'm here because I know what it feels like to be capable or to feel capable but also feel very tired. I know what it feels like to have that ambition but also feel super stretched. And so I wanted a space where I could talk properly and I could didn't have to rush, or I didn't have to perform, or I didn't have to squeeze everything into a little reel or soundbite. So if you are watching this or watching this while you are folding washing, or you are cooking dinner, or you are half listening because life is super loud for you right now, that's exactly how this channel is meant to be watched. And so if we haven't met, my name is Anna and I am a mum of 7 beautiful children. I am also a business owner, I'm a wife, and I'm someone who's built things that have worked really well and things that have completely fallen to shit. So I have had seasons where business felt easy, where the momentum was super high, where everything I seemed to touch moved and was doing really well. And I've had seasons where I've had to stop and really ask myself some serious, hard questions. Like, the questions that I've asked, is this actually working? Is this shit going to be sustainable? Do I even want to keep building it this way? And so none of that, and none of that happened while I was in some sort of isolation. Life kept going for me the whole time. Kids didn't stop. And so I didn't start this channel because I needed another platform. I started this channel because I needed a bit more space. Short form content is great, and I love me some TikTok, and I love the reels and all that, but it doesn't leave too much room, I suppose, for the context, right? And it doesn't leave room to explain why something worked or why something didn't. And so it definitely doesn't leave room for, kind of the day-to-day nuances of life. You can't kind of fit that into a short TikTok reel. And so I wanted somewhere where I could sit down and talk things through, whether it be business decisions, whether it be mindset shifts, mistakes, lessons, family, faith, all the things that make me me, without watering them down. And so, some conversations will need much more time than other conversations. And so this is the place that they're going to live. And so what I know now is that when your life is full, you don't get to build recklessly, right? Because you don't get unlimited time anymore. I mean, my time is not my own. I have 7 children. You don't get endless energy, and I certainly don't don't get to ignore the cost of my decisions, right? Because my decisions reflect on the whole family. And so that changes you. And what happens is you stop building for ego and you stop chasing things just because maybe they look good online. I stop saying yes to the things that actually, that don't actually support my life, I suppose. So, and the decisions is not because I've given up, but it's just simply because I think I've grown up and matured as an adult and as a mother. So, there were times where I genuinely thought ambition meant more, right? It meant, the more offers, doing more content, having more pressure, more doing. And I thought if I slowed down, I'd be falling behind and I wasn't, keeping up with everyone else. But real life doesn't care about the hustle culture, that's for sure. And don't get me wrong, I love a little hustle, but now I know hustle without intention and hustle just for the sake of hustling is just going to lead to some sort of burnout, right? It's just burnout waiting to happen. And so the biggest shift that I had for me was I stopped really chasing more of anything, and I started to really decide better, to start choosing better. I made better decisions about future and present things. I met better boundaries, better reasons. I started asking myself, does this actually make my life better? Does this support the season that I'm in currently? Can I sustain the things that get hard? That's the real questions I started to really ask myself. And the answer was no. I simply stopped doing it, right? I just stopped. And if it meant I had to rush, it was also a no. So, You know, this channel is really going to exist for the people who are looking for some clarity and I suppose not looking for the chaos. Maybe for the people who want momentum but not burnout, and for people who just want to build something real that just, you know, that's not just something impressive, I suppose, which a lot of people are doing. So for people out there that want more, that is who I'm targeting, right? Like if you are just there and you want more, then this channel's for you. You know, I care more about simple businesses than I do complicated ones. I care more about consistency than I do intensity. I care more about long-term stability than I do the quick wins. You know, I care more about the person that sits behind the screen than I do anything else. And so that's what I want to really talk about here on this channel. And so this channel is for you if you are capable, but you are tired of overcomplicating things. And I know how that feels because, wow, I've done it a few times. And so if you've already built something amazing, but it feels like heavier than it should, you're here, right? And if you're rebuilding something after it didn't quite work out, quietly without all the hype around it, I got you, you know. And especially if you've ever thought there has to be a better way to do this, and the truth is there usually is, right? There is always a better way to do things in life, and suppose that's what this channel's for. I don't believe success has to be super loud, and I don't believe you need to copy anyone else's pace, right? Like that's not how it has to happen. And I don't believe more pressure creates better results out there. For me, I believe clarity creates that momentum you need. I believe simplicity creates consistency. And I believe business should support your life, not compete with it. And more importantly, I believe that you have to have faith to build a business that will last a lifetime. And that's the lens I see everything through now. And it's such a shift from where I was 5 years ago to where I am sitting today. You know, so some videos here will be more practical, some will be more reflective, some will be super messy, some will talk about family, and some will talk about faith. Some will be very clear and some won't. I'm hoping they'll all be clear, but who knows? We're human, right? But all of them, I do know this, all of them will be honest, right? Completely transparent and honest. This channel will grow as I grow, and I'm okay with letting that happen slowly, right? I don't need anything fast. So if you're out there and you want to build something for the ages and not just something fast, you're welcome here, right? And if this video at all gave you a little small sense of, I don't know, some relief that you're not doing it wrong, or that you're just doing it that little bit differently, then this channel is doing exactly what it's meant to. So thank you for being here, and I'm really glad you found your way. And until next time, we meet again.